Well, I'm 15, and growing up, like my whole life, I've had severe food allergies to gluten and dairy. And as a kid, my reactions were a bit different. I'd have rashes all over. I'd be like clawing my skin until it bled.
She has had food allergies, dairy and gluten allergies since she was a baby. And when she was a baby, we didn't know what was going on because she was our first baby. You know, we don't know what we're doing. And she just cried all the time and was miserable, never sleeping, just awful. And as she got old enough to communicate, we started realizing like something's really wrong with her body. Like it's not just a fussy baby or a baby that doesn't sleep good. You know, she was up all night for years. She was scratching her skin till it would bleed. You know, when she was like 5 or 6, I mean, she's just, you know, bleeding on her torso, on her legs, horrible rashes. You know, she shifted as she got older into different symptoms. And, you know, we'd spend years sometimes going 100% off of all the allergens. And then we would try to reintroduce things like maybe her gut had healed by then. You know, we were praying and talking about healing, but also doing things in the natural to kind of heal her gut. And we were never able to reintroduce things successfully.
I was allergic to gluten and dairy. So for dairy, that's milk, that's butter, that's cream cheese, like it's just dairy in general. You know, I can't eat pizza because of that. I can't eat a cheeseburger, chips, you know, anything with cheese flavoring, you know, anything cooked in butter, anything with milk in it. And then for gluten, that's in like most flours. So cake, donuts, crackers and snacks, pasta, pizza, just lots of foods. And even with gluten, that's in a lot of things you wouldn't expect. Like I reacted to taco seasoning because there was stuff in it, and I reacted to toothpaste because there was gluten in it. And even though I don't even swallow that, I was having reactions, and it took me weeks just to figure out, like, oh, there's gluten in my toothpaste. I need to switch it. And there was just everything.
Had to carry an EpiPen, always had to order off of a special menu. She could not order the things that, you know, she once liked, that she enjoyed eating. You know, we'd have to call the waiter over to the table. I mean, you can imagine going to restaurants and you don't have much faith in who you're talking to, you know, that they really know the ingredients or whatnot. So we got to understand the world of food allergies, and that's not to diminish, you know, the difficulties that she went through if, you know, she did encounter some of those, dairy or gluten, you know, whatever the case might be. So that was extremely difficult for her. I mean, if you can imagine going to camp and having to consider packing all of her food, you know, and thankfully we didn't always have to do that. And, you know, thank God many of the camps were accommodating. But, I mean, it was just an everyday thing. You know, I mean, you know, that's stealing, kill, and destroy. And I mean, it's, you know, such a drain. And again, you shouldn't have to live like that, you know.
So it was just a constant battle. So she went up for prayer with Brian Essery, and he was just praying for wholeness in general.
I went up there and I got prayed for, and it was really interesting because it was a really like generalized thing. Like I remember he grabbed my head and he was like, "Be whole in Jesus' name." And then he moved on to the next person. But at the same time, when he had prayed for me, his wife was there and she put her hands on my stomach, which with food allergies, there were times where I had stomach reactions too at the same time, and it was just rough. And so for me, it kind of triggered like, how did she know? Which maybe she didn't, but it was just like, she knew something.
Within a day or two, her seeing like, wow, Ryan, you know, Dad feels better. Like he received, I was standing right beside him. I got the same prayer. Like, it was just one more thing that kind of triggered in her mind, like, well, if it was happening for him, it's happening for me. And at that point, she didn't know what to do. You know, rolling the dice and trying something new made her uncomfortable. And she started picturing stuff. So when we ate dinner as a family, she would start doing kind of heart work on the inside, where she would start to like say, what would it be like if I ate what they were eating?
We went to an Italian restaurant, and my family, you know, they're eating lasagna, they're eating Alfredo, they're eating bread and butter and all this stuff. And it was just like, one day I'm gonna eat that. Like, what was it like? Like, what would it be like if I was eating this? And I'd picture it in my head, like me, I had my big bowl of pasta, whatever I wanted, and just eating it and it being normal. You know, can I taste yours? Like, eating someone else's food just because I could, like my family's food. And, you know, we would get sandwiches, and getting a sandwich is like gluten-free bread, no cheese. It has to be prepared in a separate place because you can't have cross-contamination. And so my sandwich was a lot different. And they'd be eating their sandwiches with whatever they wanted, normal bread, which is a lot different than gluten-free bread, way better, and like regular cheese, and it was just simple and easy to order, and we'd be eating those. And again, it's like, what would it be like if I could eat their sandwich? And then I'd picture myself like ordering whatever sandwich I wanted, eating it, enjoying it, and just like having a normal meal like everyone else does.
And then she came to me, and asked me, what should I do at this point? And I said, I don't know. I was like, you should ask God what you should do.
And God, just show me what my next step is. And then I left it, and I kind of didn't think about it. I was just like, okay. And then I went to bed, and I had a dream that night that I was eating mac and cheese. I had cooked it, and I was going to eat it. And so then I woke up, and I was like, okay, Mom, well, I had a dream that I was eating mac and cheese, and I think I should eat it. And she's like, okay, go for it. And so that day for lunch, I made mac and cheese, and I ate it. We had that kind in the fridge, or in the pantry. It was a specific kind. Like, we had the kind that I had in the dream. And so I ate it that day, and I enjoyed it. And then I tried some other stuff, but I didn't go all in. I just tried some other things. We'll see. And then I didn't have any reactions. And so then from then on, I just started eating like normal people did. And I ate more, and I just ate what I wanted, whatever it was, whatever we had, whatever my family was eating, my friends were eating. And then in that first week, I didn't have any major reactions. It was really amazing, but I did have a few minor ones throughout the week. Like, one day I ate something and my throat started to feel that feeling that it would feel when it started to swell up and close, and I spoke to it and it left. And then another time I ate just normal food, and I felt like I had a rash on my leg, and so I was like, oh gosh, okay. But I spoke to it, and I was just like, I am healed in Jesus' name. Jesus did this for me. Go. I'm healed. It's already happened. And so then it moved to another place. I was like, okay. 5 minutes later, it was in another place. And so then I spoke to it there again, and it went away, and I just moved on, and it didn't happen again. And now it's been several months since then, and I eat like a normal person, like all my friends do, like my family does. I order what I want at a restaurant, and I have had no reactions, and it's amazing.